Why is it taking so long to go? You're live.
We're live.
We're live. Where's our photo? Oh, I forgot. I forgot.
It's my birthday.
It's Jocelyn's birthday. Good morning. We have a sliver of light over there. Are we live? Howdy, Julie. Can you all hear us okay? Can you see us and hear us?
I
usually wait for them to give us the thumbs up that they can hear us and see us and that everything's good. Somebody usually says, I can hear you. I can see you.
I think they can.
Good.
I think they can see us.
Good morning, all. Hooking gang, let's make some noise. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Hey, Sheila. Hey, Laura. So can you hear me okay? Hi. Great. Good morning, everybody. Well, there is a lady here. Hi, Linda. Good morning. There is a lady here. Oh, we have to be careful because this is a touch screen. Remember, we got a touch screen this time. Happy birthday to this. Thank you, Joelle. To this excellent lady. Stand up. Show you your shirt. She got her birthday shirt before she even opened her eyes. She got it on her body. Hi, Glenn.
I woke up and I was like, I don't want to do schoolwork, but then I realized it was my birthday, and now I got the phone.
Happy birthday, cutie. She got so many birthday messages this morning. It was so nice. Thank you. It was so nice to wake up. I wake up early and people had thank you so much. Everybody saying happy birthday. Look at all your happy birthdays.
Thank you.
It was so nice to wake up and to have already so many messages from friends on my page and an email. People who only know Joss through this and through our videos. It was such a good feeling to wake up and feel like people were thinking about our family. I'm going to choke myself up and thinking about my baby. And this is what 7 looks like, right?
Yes.
I always get emotional on birthdays because I want them to be little tiny ants forever. And she's going to be a skunk forever, but she's not going to be an ant forever. So anyway, I just want to give you an update and let you know she has been selling like crazy her awesome patterns.
So some of the people might have bought some, like in the chat.
Yeah, I know some of these people in the chat did buy some, and she does her color planning for all of them. She really does a good job. Honest to God, they're all beautiful. I would hook, keep, buy any of them. Thank you. But yeah, it's been great. So I'm trying to fulfill those orders as quickly as we can. The ribboncandy.com also on our page. Look at all the greetings you're getting for your birthday.
I'm seeing everything.
And you know, it's so extra nice because we stopped Watch Your Feet with all the wires. We stopped school early last year. You know, there was just a day where she came home from school and they just didn't go back the next day. And they asked us to come like months later and pick up backpacks, food things, sweatshirts that they left. We lost like shoes and things like that never got reconnected. And since then, that was like, I think February or March, we really haven't had any buddies.
People are like,
so it is a great community. So it is so nice for her when we are really limited with friends. It's pretty much us. She has her brother, Teddy. We really don't have friends. It sounds awful, but we are each other's friends. So it's nice to have this community with so many people saying happy birthday. And I'm wearing her favorite thing. I'm wearing my giant like American Gothic from the thrift store overall dress, right? And her object for me is to cover it with the tackiest pins in the world. So we've only just scratched the surface. We've got a lot more to go.
So is this like
they are so pretty.
Oh, at first I thought this was an eggplant and it was a whale.
All right, we have to do the show too. But you want to tell everybody today, Gami's coming over and we're going to go do some ceramic painting. They still have ceramic studios where you can paint. I'm really hoping they still have those. Remember those Christmas trees with those little tiny lights that come in different shapes? I have a huge vintage collection of those. And I'm hoping that they still sell those because it would be nice to paint one for Halloween. Yeah. And I'd like to paint one like 1950s pink for Christmas. And you're going to paint a few things, right? And my sister's coming also. My mom, my sister, Joss, and me going to go to the ceramic studio called Clay Date in Amityville, New Haven. Funny name, right? It's a really horrible place to drive.
It looks like a lot of people are here.
There's a lot, yeah.
I think everyone knows it's my birthday.
I think everyone knows it's your birthday. So did you want to move on? We're also going to go horseback riding. We're going to watch her do her riding today.
We got 3 likes.
And go get some pizza. Lots of likes. You got lots of messages. I'll let you check them all before we go. But let's get on with the show too, because
it's just saying happy birthday.
Thank you. Please hit the like button, subscribe.
It's right there.
We're doing different content this morning because it's this lady's birthday, but I'm about to move on to rug hooking stuff. Yeah, hit like, subscribe, all that stuff. It helps me with all these mysterious Google algorithms. That word, I mean, it sounds way more fun than it actually is algorithms. It sounds like it should be amazing.
Yes.
Super irritating getting it right so that people can find me. So, all right, you want to go play with your new stuff and let me do my show?
I know. It was at 3, now it's at 7 minutes.
Okay, enough. Thank you for the likes. We're good. Say bye. She's excited by likes.
Bye.
We'll see you later. So I'm staying and doing the show. All right?
Yeah.
Off she goes. All right. You can do dancing later. Good morning, everybody. We're going to have a great day today, I hope. Away from the wires. So I just wanted to recap a couple of the things we did yesterday, because we were talking about the Hutchinsons yesterday and books with words, rugs with words. And I wanted to tell you, I found this book to show you. It's called Hooked on Words. This is the book I made a reference to. It's actually by Ellen Banker, and Bev Conway is one of the people in the book. But this book is all about hooking with words. So that was what this rug says, huh? As the fish bites onto the lure. This is another one of these amazing books, Rug Hooking Publishing. Talks a lot of people who famously use words in rugs. And one of the things that's discussed in this book that I think is amazing, this is Bev Conway here. She's got a very distinctive style. One of the things that's talked about, and this is a good example, is how some artists have a really recognizable font that they use with their rugs. This is Bev's. She uses these puffy letters. She uses them always. And it's really easy to recognize. If you remember that circus book that we were looking at, the Green Mountain Guild, a few days ago, that had a Bev Conway design in it too. Whenever she puts text into something, off you go. Whenever she puts text into something, it's very recognizable. And the point is, if you start doing this, and this, are you okay? And this is one of your things that you like rugs with words, I do, maybe think about developing your own font so it's not different every time and your work becomes recognizable. But this book is a collection of fairly well-known artists and their rugs with words. Go. Before I get angry, I'm going to snap. That's how easy. That's how quick it is when you have kids in your 40s. It goes from fun to snap in 10 seconds. But this book is amazing. And it's a lot of fun. I'm not seeing the words in those. But you wouldn't see the words on Bev's either, because I went to this ATHA meeting, Chapter 1, last fall, and she was the speaker. And she talked about putting, I'm so sorry the dog is going nuts because the post lady's here. She talked about, oh, this is one of my favorite artists, Sharon Smith. I didn't realize she was in here. The Runaway Toys. Bev Conway does this technique where I can't stop. Look at how great this is. She embeds words in the back of the rug. So in other words, you're not seeing them on the front. You can hide secret things about, in keeping with the Hutchinsons' in-laws or anything, something funny, private joke. This is an example of one of her rugs, and she has on the back hooked text, and it's hidden. This is the front and this is the back. That's one of the techniques that's explained in this book. But I just wanted to recap by saying this is what the book looks like if you're looking on Amazon or on Rug Hooking's page or on Abe Books, eBay. I think everybody's going to have this book at this point. Really good book. I also yesterday mentioned, I just have to add this as a tidbit because the dog Buttons goes nuts when he sees the post lady. I just have to add this because I think it's a great metaphor for life. I just assumed that the reason he goes crazy like this every day was because he wants to kill the mail lady. And it's just, I just figured it was that kind of Tom and Jerry 1950s, overarching motif that dogs hate post people. And that was my assumption. And then one day I happened to see Maria, the post lady, feeding him treats through our fence. And now I know the reason he goes crazy is because he's waiting for her to walk around the corner because he loves her. And isn't that just funny the way, I mean, it's just, I love it when life does that to you. You make an assumption, you think you know, turns out you're wrong and you're happy you're wrong. It's just nice when that happens. So I also mentioned in our video yesterday, Happy DeFranza. She was a really big designer, more toward, I think, the 70s, 80s. And I couldn't really describe her work well other than saying she had a great cat series. I forgot she had a great sheep series. I hope you can see that. This is on burlap, but this is very, very Happy DeFranza signature, right? And these can be found on the Rug Hooking buy and sells, and they can be found occasionally on eBay. And her style is very recognizable, just like Bev Conway's font. Her Happy's style is super recognizable. I also just want to say, before I move on in my head, you know, if you're looking for something, like I was looking for Sharon Smith for a while. I love her work. I haven't had time to hook it, but I have the patterns of hers I love the most. And the only reason I was able to acquire them was because I put in the Facebook buy and sell groups like a wanted ad rather than an I'm selling, hello Marie, rather than an I'm selling ad. So I said, like, I am in search of, and people responded with, I have this, and I was able to buy some patterns I was looking for. So when you're looking for someone and not finding it, and you are on Facebook, I know that's another big if, think about doing that, doing like an in search of rather than an I'm selling, because you'll be amazed at how many people come out of the woodwork. Marie is working, thank you so much, Marie, on a page in the Facebook group that's a resource page. I am not a good admin person at all. Marie, I'm going to get right back to you on that stuff, but she's putting together a list of things that I mentioned, places that I know, things that I don't want to be a secret, things I want you to know about, cheap places with good stuff, places with bargains, places where you can find unique things. That whole list is going into our tab on the Facebook page, Rug Hooking and Punch Needle Club. So thank you so much, Marie, for doing that. I just want to also show you, I made very little progress on Lizzie, but I hit like a weird kind of wall, and I always do. So her dress is coming into shape here. I wonder if you can even see it. I ran out of that main color of her dress, and I decided to use in the corner the red of the rest of it. So I'm hoping that's going to work out. If you also can see, I was experimenting with that blue sleeve. They're the big leg of mutton sleeves, and I don't think it's working. I welcome your feedback. I'm just not sure. The reason I tried to do it, can you put the list on the website? Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll also put the list on the website. I know not everybody likes Facebook, and I understand why. This is that blue. So you see why I would think this would go great with the axe murder scene, because it has that splotchy, splattered, grotesque effect. But I'm not sure that I might finish the sleeve just to see, you're welcome, how it goes. The reason I liked it was because I like the wool, but I also like the way it looks next to that turquoise that I'm using as like the wood color around the divan or the fainting couch. So we'll see how that goes. It's hard to gauge. You know, when you run out of colors, your choice becomes, am I dyeing? Trying to re-dye the same thing. If you remember from the video, this pink of the dress was already an ombre, going from dark to light, not one color from the next, but dark to light. A true ombre rather than like a tie-dye. Ombre is usually one color technically, but I'd have to re-dye it as an ombre and then do the thing with the Halloween sprinkles again. And honestly, I don't know that I want to do that much work. So I'm hoping that the blue works. And if it doesn't, we'll see. I welcome your suggestions. Speaking of dyeing, I got something in the mail that got me going. Oh, you know what else I wanted to say? Again, I'd like to get your opinion. The sleeves, instead of doing the blue, if it fails, and remember the background is going to be that red. If it fails, one of the things I'm thinking about is using yarn just for the sleeves. And if I did, I would use these lace yarns. That's the weight of the yarn for people who are not knitters. And I would double it or even quadruple it when I pulled it through with the hook. I would still be hooking with it, but it would give it a different look just on the sleeves, which could be neat. It could be neat. It could be lacy. And the reason I pulled these four because they were kind of splattered. These are all brands that I really like. I love this brand, Evil Little Goat. And sure, you can hook with these. You just probably need to double it up. Can you still use your primitive hook or your large hook to hook with them? Definitely. You don't need a different hook. And this one is really nice too. This is Hummingbird Moon. I find most of these on Ravelry. La Jola Ba. And this one, oh, this one is junk yarn. But I like them all. So we'll see how that goes. Otherwise, I have to dye. So I got into my dyeing stuff last night, and I just want to show you, I'm going to be setting up a dyeing class soon, a really economical dyeing class. I just want to show you, even if you think you're not into dyeing, I don't want to change your mind, and you might change your mind yourself, because I thought I was not into dyeing, that part of it was for other people, and the part that I liked was the designing and the hooking part. And as time went on, I just felt more for myself, like I wanted more control over the whole process. And the more I felt comfortable with dyeing on a small scale in the kitchen, with just a few designated pots, not a new kitchen set, not a new countertop, just a few different pots, and being careful and putting plastic or an old shower curtain down, I got more comfortable with it. And now I really enjoy it. I do it a couple times a week because this is my business. But if you did it once a month or something, you might find that really nice. Jocelyn, could you put the animal outside and shut the door, Teddy? Sorry, tilt. Maria's here, obviously, right? So they have sold over the years all kinds of things to help you with dyeing and choosing your colors. This is the one that Chem does. So if you look up Chem dye color chart, you get this. It's showing you, put him outside and lock the door. He's like a slippery monkey. He can't be caught. It's like a cartoon in here. They have beautiful names that really entice you. When you dye using pre-made chemicals, you are getting the exact color, unlike vegetable dyes, which I also liked. You remember I took that class. I also like, this is really guaranteed. This is exact. This is science. So it's a lot of fun to use them, particularly if you are not a recipe person. If you are, then that is a whole other world of keeping a little book with your recipe of this plus this amount plus this amount, just like a cooking recipe. And it's a lot of fun. It's a different hobby. It's a different hobby than just dyeing fabric, because you can buy pretty much any color. Pretty much any color is not here. This is still super limited, but this is the Chem sheet. It comes with 3 pages, and that's like, there are some new colors this year. I think there's 2 new colors, but in general, that's going to be it. Then there's other sets. Like I ordered these 2 sets from Canada. Let's look at these. I got 2 beautiful sets that came with gorgeous swatches. Now these swatch sets are expensive. They're going to be between $70 and $100, but look at the amount of work that goes into this. They're numbered according to the book that it corresponds to, so you want to keep them together. And they have names of colors: Autumn Maple, Jewel of the Nile, Agatha Christie, Harvest Pumpkin, Old Blue Eyes. I mean, it's so evocative, the colors that, the way that the colors are named. And then you typically get a book like this. So this is Antique Colors and Spots, Book 2. Formulas using Magic Carpet Dyes. So that is its own brand, and that is its own website, and that is its own Facebook page. Check out Magic Carpet Dyes. They're beautiful colors. This is Book 2. I also have Book 1. But you'll find when you order something like this, it comes with the swatch. There's Old Blue Eyes with the recipe for it. And you're using the dyes. It usually comes with the basic dye set, and it tells you exactly how much of each to get these colors in this book. So it's a very fun thing to order these swatch books if you're interested. This is book number 1. Let's see what some of these colors are. Blue Willow, Sunflower, Country Blue, Fall Foliage, Butterscotch, Spruce Green, Butterscotch. I mean, they're just gorgeous. I'll get that one later. But yeah, and here's book 1 with 13 formulas. So not only do you get the 13 formulas of these specific swatches, but the pure colors themselves, and any combination that you can concoct in your witch's cauldron of these dyes. So you put them together and you figure out where your sweet spots are with the brand. You get familiar with the brand as you play with the brand. So if you have your Chem dyes, you get real familiar with the effects that those colors will do over very little time. With the Cushing dyes, that's such a broad range. That's what got me going. Was I ordered this in the mail. I got this on Etsy. I ordered it 3 days ago, I think, and there was maybe 1 or 2 more in stock. But somebody put together this. Now, with Cushing, there are so many dyes. It is really nice to see how they come up, because when you pull up the colors online, it's really hard to tell what the actual color is, because you're looking at your phone or you're looking at your monitor. And right here, I'm looking at a piece of Dora wool, and I know that that's how it's going to take. Now, this is not going to help me figure out shades of something. So there are a million spectrum colors using these base colors, darker and lighter, without even mixing. But this is just an idea of what you get. I think this was 40. So that's actually quite good. Because this is really time consuming, putting these things together, dyeing them, keeping them in track, cutting them out and gluing them on pages. This is a lot of work for somebody. Cushing's dye color chart. Again, I found this on Etsy. I'm not sure who's making it, but if you look now, there's probably at least one there, and it might already be gone because I know you all are quick. Now, there are also, for example, I have this old timey book that you find a lot. You can find this pretty much anywhere. These are always on Rug Hooking Buy and Sell. This refers to Cushing dye. Sometimes when you find a book like this, it doesn't refer to a specific dye company like Magic Carpet. Typically, it will be Cushing because they are going to be the first dyes that people are making lots and lots of books of. But if you are in doubt and you have a box full of Cushing dyes, you want to always write to the seller and say, is this book referring to Cushing dye? Because it's not going to help you at all if it's not, right? So I use this book a lot. It's a little recipe book. It reminds me of little church recipe books that people used to put together back in the day. And I happened to get the swatches that go with the book. And there's a lot of them. There's 3 sets of them here. Keeping my eye on the time. But they're all very different. I got 3 sets that go with this one Cushing book. And in this book, it's specifically helping you. It's by Claire DeRose. It's specifically helping you with the stained glass technique. So I'm not sure that the stained glass technique is something different than regular dyeing because, I mean, what it is color. You're getting color, you're putting dye in, you're following a recipe, and you're getting color. So these are the dyes that go with, if you happen to find this set, this is the complete set that goes with this. And she does a little bit of color fading and changing in some of these too. But if you search your usual outlets online for swatches and swatch books, you will, number one, be outraged by the cost. And if you are able to get over it, it is a lot of fun collecting them, finding them, buying them, et cetera, et cetera. These are all Cushing dyes too. And I got these from a lady who just doesn't dye anymore. And now this is going to be a bit of a mystery because each one has little tags on it. Marie says, if people also PM me, I will add them. Okay, so side note, this list of resources that is going to be on the Facebook page and also on the web page, if you want to let me know or if you want to ping Marie right here, MW, with resources you would like to see on that page. It's not, ribbon candy hooking because that's me. I want everybody else who wants to advertise, who wants to sell, who has good ideas, who has good secrets that they're willing to share, let Marie know, and we'll add all of those to the list. I never want to create a situation where I'm your only choice. It should never work like that. Add anybody you want and yourself too, if you are in business or you make stuff for rug hooking. So these are gorgeous. And this also came with that mess. And you can see these are swatches where somebody has really taken the time to go from light to dark to show you the fair range of the spectrum. So dyeing is a thing. Dyeing is a time-consuming thing. It can become a very expensive thing. People have been doing it for a long time. This is by Clarice McLean. This is another thing I got off the buy and sell page on Facebook. But this is obviously a much older book. This is probably 60s. But somebody has looked at the recipe book, made the recipe, and taped in with Scotch tape their own swatches for a few of the pages. So you can also buy swatches if you are not up for this kind of fun. There's some vintage swatches out there that go from one color to the next. If you want to do extreme shading, right, really fine shading, lots of people making swatches, selling swatches. I don't typically do this. I get vintage ones, and I'll come to why in a minute. But these are all ones that you find online on the selling pages. And it gives you a little leg up if you're doing like a flower and you need to go from very, very light to very, very dark. You can sometimes find them like this. They're tie-dyed color families, but going from the red to the blue with the purple in the middle, a little bit of a tie-dye effect, probably a casserole dye. This is Door wool. Door doesn't make them anymore, but the store has them and sells them. I know Donna at Whispering Hill in Connecticut Her store is called Whispering Hill. She still has them and sells them. I think they're $8 each for swatch sets. What I do want to say, because this came up yesterday, I was doing a class yesterday night. So for the people on that class, redundant and sorry for the repeat, but I just wanted to express the idea that as fun as dyeing is and as great as shading is, it is only one small part of rug hooking. Teddy, can you turn your video game down, please? It is only one small part of shading. So the question keeps coming up with my Zoom classes and stuff. Are my loops even? Is this right? Is this shaded right? And I just want to say, in keeping with what we were talking about, this is going to be very controversial, and I hope I don't get a big slap in the face for saying this. It is my opinion. We were talking about things being correct in rug hooking. And I just wanted to point out, in keeping with what we were saying yesterday, that there are trends in rug hooking. There's trends in crafts. There's trends in fashion. There's trends in architecture. There's trends in life, everything. We were talking about the 1920s and the Hutchinsons yesterday, and that trend away from industrialization and toward handicrafts again. That was a trend. In the middle of the 20th century, there was another huge trend in rug hooking, and it was pioneered by Pearl McGowan and later her granddaughter Jane. And it was all about technique, and it was all about perfection. And a lot of people were certified as McGowan teachers, and they are super highly skilled and knowledgeable people. I'm not one of them. And I'm not passing judgment on anybody who's certified in anything. I'm a certified tour guide. And I have like a master's in English literature and an undergrad in theater costuming. So not even on the same page as Pearl McGowan certified people. But I do want to say that that mid-century idea of shading everything perfectly, or it was incorrect, or hooking every loop perfectly evenly, or it was incorrect, is part of a trend that happened in the middle of the 20th century. It is great to be perfect, right? Both the Dalai Lama and I think Pablo Picasso had almost identical quotes that went something like, you need to know the rules to break the rules. But I would add to that, that with rug hooking, as soon as you pull your first loop, you know how to rug hook. And all of the time you spend rug hooking between that first loop and death, which I hope is very far away, is going to be spent to whatever degree improving your technique, improving your style, making your hooking your own. And if you are more interested in the technical part of hooking, like the Pearl McGowan perfection hooking, and I'm not using her as a dirty word because I worship her, then that's a choice, right? But then the other choice is you have to know that when you are putting the full emphasis as a hooker on technique, then you are not putting the full emphasis as a hooker on creativity, because you can't do both at the same time. If you are a person who is more interested in the creative part of hooking, stop beating yourself up about the height of your hooks and your shading and all of those things. That was part of the middle 20th century. Rugs that are hooked perfectly are glorious and wonderful, and I'm not diminishing their value or the talent that goes into them. But I do want to add that that is one school of hooking, and there is so much new style hooking, and perfection is not necessarily part of it. You might be the kind of person who is more creative, and you want to work on your creative technique and making your pieces more individual and independent of everything else you've seen. So try not to cross wires if you are a beginner with technique and rules and where you see yourself going with your rug hooking, because they are not the same thing. Be a little bit freer with yourself. Be a little bit gentler with your judgment of yourself. Know that you can, over time, learn about dyeing and perfection and shading and making everything look like a 1950s floral masterpiece. I can't do it yet. I hope someday I can do it. But make sure that your journey through rug hooking is dictated by your instincts and not your idea of what perfection is and what other people have done in the past. Thank you. It's just a thing. And I'm not diminishing people who teach very specifically rules. But I feel like being a teacher myself that it's so important to stress it's not going to be fun if you're not a rules person and you're preoccupied with rules. It's going to become unfun and it's going to fall by the wayside. And why should something so beautiful like a hobby that you love fall by the wayside because you're tripping yourself up with the rules? Make sure that you are open and put in the front of your mind, instead of rules, 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 put in the front of your mind, do I like the way it's coming out? Good enough. I can block it later. The loops will look a little more regular, a little more uniform. Maybe I don't even want to block it. Maybe I want to do Canada School of hooking all the way, have all different heights, techniques, tails, up, down, whatever. And your piece comes out looking like your piece. And because it's your piece, it will be the best piece. So just bear that in mind. I didn't mean to go off on a bender at the end, but it does bother me when people are constantly judging themselves according to a standard that being great at it and knowing all of having your bag of tricks be amazing, and knowing all the techniques, old school style, that is great. And you can do that over time. But as a beginner, don't let that be your starting point. Let your creativity be your starting point, and watch videos and look at books and practice and do your thing, because your thing, if you like the creative part more than the technical part, you have to follow just that one path. And for people who love to hook and fill in patterns, just like people who like coloring books or Zentangles and that stuff, rather than a blank sketchbook, and you like hooking because of the technical part of it, then you should do that. But they aren't the same thing. So be careful when you're judging yourself and you're looking at your piece and you're criticizing yourself. Be careful, because you're probably criticizing yourself for things that aren't fair to be locking into. Be careful about what you lock into. So I just want to leave you with that today. It is birthday time, and I should shave my armpits too, so I'm going to keep them down. But we are going to go off and paint ceramics and horseback ride and eat huge amounts of pizza, and I have got the right dress on for it. I hope you have a great day. Follow your path today. Do your own thing. I hope you can find some time for yourself. But forget about rules for just a little while and see what happens. We will see you tomorrow. I don't know the theme yet. I think it's probably going to be primitive rug hooking really wide, like bigger than an 8 in primitive. So hopefully I get some time to prep for tomorrow. Good to see you all. Happy birthday to my sweet girl. I'm not going to start crying. I'll cry later. Cried in bed. I'll cry tonight. But I woke up with her in bed. She's like a little rosy powder puff, and she was still asleep. And I got to come down and get her birthday cake ready for breakfast. It's just the one day, well, actually 2, because we do it with Teddy too. One day a year that you have birthday cake for breakfast and get wired at 7:30. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.